In this video, I talk about why I drive a 22-year-old car. I'll talk about 5 reasons I drive this car, what kind of car it is, and stay to the end where I talk about the average cost of this car. Yes, 22 years of data in an Excel file. Hi everyone, I'm Jessica, and I love talking about financial freedom after experiencing burnout early on in my pharmacist career. On this channel, we talk about passive income and simplifying to combat burnout and stress in your life. I also share openly about my burnout story and how we paid off over $385,000 worth of student loans. Make sure to watch those videos as well. Transportation is part of our big 3 expenses in the survival and optional categories of the Kakeibo method. This is the way I went debt-free, and focusing on those big 3, including transportation, was part of my debt-free journey and how we kept expenses low, how I was able to see what added joy to my life, what was functional joy in my life, so functional joy of getting around in Los Angeles. If you've never heard about our debt-free journey or don't know what the Kakeibo method is, make sure to watch those videos below. The number 1 reason why I own a 22-year-old car is there is no car payment. Yes, one way I could have done this is by purchasing the car in cash, but I actually was gifted this car from my dad. And before you click off, please hear me out on this. My dad purchased this car in November of 1999. And then allowed me to start borrowing it in 2008. And then I started driving it full-time in 2010 here in Los Angeles, California. The next reason why I own a 22-year-old car is because of the lower car insurance premiums and lower car registration costs each year. The car was originally purchased in Wisconsin, and of course that state has lower insurance premiums and lower car registration costs compared to Los Angeles, California. So since owning it full-time since 2010, I was able to lower those costs. Because the car is older, it sustained some minor car accident damage over the years and some scratches and door bangs over the years. So I don't carry full comprehensive car insurance. I have removed the collision insurance from the premium, so that reduces the premium each year. So in comparison, I'll give you some numbers. So the car registration cost of my 22-year-old car is $130 a year in Los Angeles, California. Now, if I was driving a brand new, let's say $50,000 car in Los Angeles, California, the car registration cost would be between $800 to $1,200 a year based on some online quotes. For my car insurance premiums, I don't have anything on my record. I have a very clean record. So my car insurance premiums are $500 a year in Los Angeles, California. And if I was driving, let's say even a little bit newer sedan, so let's say a 2012, 2013 sedan that's comparable to the one I own, I would be spending about $900 to $1,000 a year on car insurance premiums. And let's say I was driving an actual new car that was $30,000 to $50,000, the insurance premiums would be about $1,500 to $2,000 a year for that type of car based on some online quotes. So you can see that the car insurance premium is 1/2 or 1/4 of the yearly cost compared to a new car. The third reason I own such an old car is because I'm realistic of how I use transportation. Yes, I live in Los Angeles where we're notoriously bad for public transportation compared to other major cities like San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Boston, New York City. But we do have some forms of public transportation. In the past, I lived really close to public transportation at Union Station of Los Angeles, where I was able to take either USC provided buses when I was a student there over a decade ago, and I was also able to take some of those Metro links to different organizations and different volunteer work I did in Los Angeles. I also have moved to a more walkable type of area where I am able to walk to a grocery store, walk to a bank, walk our puppy outside, different things like that, instead of driving somewhere to do those things. This also plays into being realistic of how you own transportation if you're a family unit. My husband and I have both owned cars over the years because Los Angeles is more difficult to get around when you don't own a car. And, when we have one more primary car between the two of us and then my car, which is a little bit older and banged up, then we're not using 2 cars all the time because we're typically in the car together a lot of the times on evenings or on weekends together. The next reason why I own a 22-year-old car is because it's a quality car that has lasted years and years and has a quality track record. So if you have an option to purchase a quality car that you know will withstand the test of time and can put a lot of miles on it, then I highly recommend going for that quality type of car. Now, this was not completely my decision. My dad purchased this car in November 1999, and he did purchase a really quality car. The car is a Camry, and it's a Camry XLE V6 engine, and it was the top of the line back in 1999. Overall, it has a lot of the features you wouldn't think a 22-year-old car has. It has leather seats. It has an automatic AC and heating system. It has all automatic windows. It has adjustable seats. And it was really the top of the line and has lasted years and years. It has just under 170,000 miles on it, and it could go to that 200, maybe even that 300,000 mile mark as well. Investing in quality can be really important, so I maintain it year after year. I actually just put on 4 new tires, new brakes, new battery, because safety is so important no matter what age of the car it is. And if you maintain it year after year, where you're able to maintain a lot of the big items and the checkups that a car does need, then it's going to last you years and years to come. I'm going to show you the Excel file later on this video on the average cost, and you're going to see how it was maintained year after year with big items like timing belts and water pumps and coolant flushes and tires and brakes and batteries and all these different things that if you maintain a car year after year, it's going to last you longer and longer and prevent you from having to have those high costs related to a new car. Now, I do know that this car is not going to last forever. It's given 22 great years of life, and hopefully it will give me a couple more years as well. And when I'm ready to, I will invest in another quality car. The next time I invest in a quality car, it's likely to be either a full electric car or a plug-in electric car for a lot more eco-friendly living, because I don't need to purchase another gasoline type of car, because now it is 2021, 2022, and there's no reason to be purchasing a car like that for our climate. The next reason why I own a 22-year-old car is because you can park it literally anywhere. Now, this might be a surprising reason for many of you, but if you have lived in Los Angeles or if you visited Los Angeles, the streets can be narrow, the parking can be limited, and when you're parking an old car, you don't really care if someone opens their door and bangs into you, as much as if you're parking your brand new $50,000 car. So I can literally take it anywhere, and I can park it anywhere. I can leave it, if it gets sideswiped, if a mirror comes off in a small and narrow street, I'm not going to be that upset. Yes, it is going to be somewhat upsetting because someone damaged my mode of transportation, but I would be much more upset if this was a new car or a newer car and it was getting its first ding or first little scratch on it. My work will also triple park in the cars in the lot, so I don't care if I'm triple parked in and it's very narrow to get out of that situation. I know I can handle my car and it will be okay in that situation, versus a brand new car that's triple parked in a very small parking lot is not going to be ideal. I also feel very comfortable and confident driving this old car. I've had years of experience with it. I know its quirks and I'm able to adjust in different situations. Now to the fun part. What was the average cost of my car over the last 22 years? Well, you can see on this Excel file that we've kept a lot of the data. No matter what type of car you own, I encourage you to keep the data and the file consistent. Yes, you can do digital files. We have a paper folder from some of our older files that we have digitized as well. This is just great. I also recommend doing this for your health and for your finances, because you're the owner of all that information. And if you don't own it yourself, who else is going to? The total cost of owning the car over the last 22 years is $33,473. And if you divide that out yearly, it's cost about $1,500 per year over the last 22 years to own it. And if you look at the mileage, it's cost 18 cents per mile to own this car. And yes, that's getting very detailed, but if you're into financial freedom and into looking at budgets, your big 3 items, including transportation, you can start multiplying these numbers out and seeing what is adding value and what is adding joy to your life. And yes, at the end of the day, it's about, can I get from place A to place B with my 22-year-old car? Yes, I can. Is someone going to be skeptical of what type of person walks out of the car? Yes, maybe they will be. But at the end of the day, that's their decision and their opinion. It's not my life. And my life means that I can get from place A to B. I have a car that has no car payments, lower car insurance premiums, and lower registration costs, and can be literally driven anywhere and it is safe and reliable. So those were 5 reasons why I own a 22-year-old car and the average cost of the car. I hope that this inspires you to think about your own transportation, your own big 3 items in the Kakeibo method of survival and optional categories, and how you get from place A to B. Because yes, it's your own life. If someone has an opinion about who's driving that type of car or has an opinion of who's walking out of that car, that's their opinion and their decision. It's not your life, it's their life. So I hope this really inspires you on your financial freedom journey, and I would love to hear what type of reliable cars you are driving in the comments below. You can also watch more videos on our debt-free journey and why we didn't have a wedding. Until next time, cultivate joy.